The U.S. economy grew faster than expected in the third quarter, driven by strong consumer spending. But economists warn momentum is slowing as rising living costs and the recent government shutdown weigh on the households. Donald Trump's policies are contributing to what experts have termed an affordability crisis that is denting his approval ratings.
The U.S. economy grew faster than expected in the third quarter, but that momentum may already be fading. U.S. gross domestic product rose at an annualized rate of 4.3%, according to the Commerce Department's initial estimate, released Tuesday after a weeks-long delay due to the government shutdown. That's well above economists' forecasts of 3.3%. It's also half a percentage point higher than second-quarter GDP. The surge was driven by consumer spending, fueled in part by a rush to buy electric vehicles before tax credits expired at the end of September. But that spike didn't last. Auto sales fell in October and November, and spending elsewhere was mixed. Surveys suggest consumer spending is being driven by higher-income households, thanks to a stock market boom that has inflated household wealth. By contrast, economists say middle and lower-income consumers are struggling amid the rising cost of living due to President Donald Trump's sweeping tariffs. Trump's policies are contributing to what economists have termed an affordability crisis that is denting his approval ratings. The Federal Reserve cut interest rates this month, but signaled borrowing costs were unlikely to fall in the near term as policymakers await clarity on the direction of the labor market and inflation.
The U.S. Justice Department has released a fresh batch of Jeffrey Epstein investigation documents, including an email suggesting President Donald Trump traveled abroad Epstein's private jet more than frequently than previously it was reported. More details in our next report. Take a look.
U.S. President Donald Trump was mentioned in a new batch of Epstein Files released Tuesday by the Justice Department. Among them was a New York prosecutor's email saying that Trump flew on convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein's private jet, quote, many more times than previously has been reported. It said he had flown on the plane 8 times in the 1990s. In a social media post in 2024, Trump said he was never on Epstein's plane or at his stupid island. Among the 8 flights were 4 where Epstein associate Ghislaine Maxwell was aboard. She is serving a 20-year sentence for helping Epstein sexually abuse underage girls. On one flight, the only 3 passengers were Epstein, Trump, and a 20-year-old woman whose name was redacted. The prosecutor's email said that, quote, on 2 other flights, 2 of the passengers respectively were women who would be possible witnesses in a Maxwell case. There was no allegation in the prosecutor's email that Trump had committed any crime, and the White House did not immediately respond to a request for comment on the email. There have been no criminal allegations against Trump in the disclosures of the Justice Department's files on Epstein. The DOJ posted on X that, quote, some of the documents contain untrue and sensationalist claims made against President Trump that were submitted to the FBI before the 2020 election. To be clear, the claims were unfounded and false, and if they had a shred of credibility, they certainly would have been weaponized against President Trump already. On Monday, Trump played down the importance of the Epstein files.
What this whole thing is with Epstein is a way of trying to deflect from the tremendous success that the Republican Party has. Like, for instance, today we're building the biggest ships in the world, most powerful ships in the world, and they're asking me questions about Jeffrey Epstein. I thought that was finished.
Tuesday's release of some 30,000 files included the image of a card purporting to be written by Epstein to Larry Nassar, the former gymnastics doctor who is serving a life sentence for sexually abusing hundreds of girls. The card appears to allude to Trump in a handwritten note, which reads, quote, our president also shares our love of young nubile girls. But just hours after releasing it to the public, the Justice Department labeled the card a fake, saying in a statement, quote, this fake letter serves as a reminder that just because a document is released by the Department of Justice does not make the allegations or claims within the document factual. Nevertheless, the DOJ will continue to release all material required by law. The envelope in the image is postmarked Virginia, not New York, where Epstein was jailed, and appears to have been processed 3 days after his death in August 2019. The White House did not immediately respond to requests for comment on the card. One of Larry Nassar's former lawyers, Shannon Smith, declined to comment. Another former lawyer, Matthew Newberg, did not immediately respond to a request for comment.
The US FDA has approved Novo Nordisk's weight loss pill Wegovy, giving the drug maker an edge in the race to develop an effective oral treatment for obesity. This could help now open door to tens of millions of untapped patients in a global market forecasted to be worth some $150 billion a year by the next decade.
The U.S. Food and Drug Administration approved Novo Nordisk's weight loss pill on Monday. The 25-milligram pill is made of semaglutide, the same active ingredient in injectable Wegovy and Ozempic. The pill will be sold under the brand name Wegovy. A 64-week late-stage study showed participants who took 25 milligrams of oral semaglutide once daily lost more body weight on average than those on a placebo. The pill was approved for chronic weight management in adults with obesity or overweight and at least one related health condition. This expands the patient pool at a time when obesity-related healthcare costs are climbing. It could help open a door to tens of millions of untapped patients in a global market forecast to be worth some $150 billion a year by the next decade. The approval could help spur a turnaround for Novo after a rocky year of sliding shares and profit warnings. Its injectable Wegovy faces slowing sales amid intense competition from Eli Lilly and pressure from compounded versions. Shares of Novo jumped 8% and Lilly fell 1% in extended trading after the approval announcement. David Moore, Novo's executive vice president of U.S. operations, said a daily pill could boost interest and uptake of the drug. Analysts say the pills could make up about a fifth of the market by 2030.